right, here we go, Denise.
Okay. And we're ready.
This is Denise Nostrom, CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investment advice is needed. Not just for investors to invest your money, but why? Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and need to jobs? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time saving to buy another home? Are the markets in line with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691. Or visit diversifiedfinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through bull market conditions with one goal in mind. My clients. Contact me at diversifiedfinancial.biz. Call Denise Nostrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you.
Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me today. We made it to Friday. Are these weeks flying by or what? I can't believe how quickly this month is moving along. I really wanted to slow down. You know, I love summer. You are listening to the Financial Chick Show today, and I'm the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located right in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can always check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions, so like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. So yeah, it's already August 19th. I am not sure where July went, and now we're over halfway through August. My mind is blown. My least favorite month is definitely September. It is interesting because I always loved school, so it has nothing to do with the idea of school starting again. But it represented to me, I guess into my head, the unofficial end of summer. I love summer and having the freedom to walk around in flip-flops, shorts, sleeveless shirts. I love the idea of not having to put on a heavy jacket or wear boots. Although I do like winter attire, I'm not gonna lie. There is some good outfits in the boots, or some of the boots are nice. But you know, you just basically the summer you feel free, you feel unencumbered. I don't mind being hot, but I really dislike being cold. So to me, it's the beginning of the darkness that will lead into the W word, which is winter. So now here in New York, summer goes in like a blink of an eye. It comes and goes, and winter feels like it lasts for years. I'm such a drama queen. But not to mention, one of the things that makes me sad is that my grandpa died in the month of September when I was 17. And this was really probably one of the first deaths that I ever experienced. And he was one of my favorite people in the world. So, you know, that I'm sure that has something to do with it deep down inside. Now it's not all bad because yes, my kid goes back to school. So that's not such a terrible thing, right? All the kids go back to school. Actually, the kids are going back to school already, college and everything. But it's also my husband's birthday in the month of September. So without this month, I would not have him. So, you know, I'm happy that September, that's a good part of September. You know, the good news is that summer is still on, so I'm happy, and if all goes well, we will have good weather through November, so I'm optimistic about that. And just a few stats, because you know I'm a stat queen. It's 6 weeks until the leaves start falling. 10 weeks until we have like those truly crisp mornings, and believe it or not, 14 weeks until Christmas. So that's made some of you real happy and maybe some of you not so happy. But listen, overall, life is really good. So, you know, when I plan to do my show each week, I kind of gather information as the week goes on. And so I have a few topics that I was going to talk about. I actually had my nails done this morning with my nail girl, and she's always like my therapy, so I kind of, you know, test out a few things with her. But so here's some of the things, and I don't want to be negative, but unfortunately, when we listen to the news and everything, a lot of things are not super positive at this point. So the first half of the show, I'll kind of rant a little bit, but then the second half of the show, I'm going to talk about milestones. But so the first thing that happened this week that was quite poignant was the Inflation Reduction Act that was passed. And what's very, very interesting, and I just never understand, why these things happen, but they're calling it IRA because Inflation Reduction Act. Now, do we want to, the financial situation or financial stuff is confusing to begin with, but now do we want to blend the government bill to IRAs? But anyway, we have the Inflation Reduction Act, which, if you look into it, there's a few parts, I guess, that are okay. Most of it will not decrease inflation. It's basically a spending bill. But the most poignant part, which I find is very interesting, is the fact that they want to hire 87,000 IRS agents. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess that this is the way that they're going to pay for the bill. But the most important part of this topic is that these said IRS agents that they're going to hire will need to be weaponized. They're going to have guns. So I say to myself, well, a couple of things. Why does an IRS agent need guns? Because unless it's like, drug lords or something like that. But the IRS agents, how is this bill, how is that going to help the average person like you and I? Well, it's going to pay for their pet projects, but do these things directly come down to us? Like, if I donate to, let's say, Angels of Long Island, an organization that's pretty close to my heart, I know that they're feeding and they're clothing the local community or buying formula for our babies that don't have it available to them in this. But when we give money to the government, or when we hire IRS agents, which are government employees, how is that really benefiting us? That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that, okay, they were able to find money for IRS agents to now, and again, don't think that they're just going over the 400,000. This is going to be for all of you. I mean, if you have an accountant that's doing things that look, wow, I get money back every year, and you're not quite sure how that is because really you probably shouldn't, you better be real scared because this is going to be an interesting thing. They're just going for anybody and anything. So, you really want to take some precautions there. But now they found the money for that. But now we have these shootings from time to time in schools, and they can't find the money or ways to protect our children in the schools, or maybe have an IRS agent with a gun in the schools. Hey, listen, I might have just had a breakthrough there. I just don't understand a lot of what that is all about. But I do know from a financial standpoint and being a financial advisor, this is going to be an interesting thing. I mean, people that when I talk to any client or any prospect that comes into my office, the biggest thing that they say is, I hate taxes. I don't want to pay too much taxes. If I do this investment, will I have to pay taxes? Again, we have to pay our share. We need roads, we need, different services, but the IRS agents coming and just remember the name Lois Lerner. Just go back to that. Look it up. It's a scary time. The other thing that was very interesting this week, the CDC admits to screwing up the pandemic response. Quite interesting there. A lot of things that were happening, and I had, clients that come in this week and they're like, oh my God, I was flying, I have my vacations and my airplane, things are delayed, they're canceling. Well, let's ratchet back and let's think about why these things are happening right now. When the pandemic was happening, they were forcing people to take immunizations, or vaccines, not immunization, but vaccines for the pandemic. Now again, regardless of how you feel for that, whether you do or you don't, many companies decided, especially in the airline industry, we had it in the medical field as well, nurses, that if you did not get vaccinated, you lost your job. So the unintended consequences here is that if you have people leave because they couldn't stay, you're going to have shortages. So it's really kind of interesting that now they're realizing that a lot of the decisions that they made probably weren't the right decisions. And unfortunately now we're dealing with all the fallout from that, with having supply shortages, with having delays in airlines and all of these different things. One of the things today in New York that they're going to be eliminating toy guns in the city, New York City. This is something Hochul has decided to do. Now that, again, very valiant, I guess, effort, but and the reason they're getting rid of the toy guns is because they want to, not have the shootings that are on and all of the violence that's going on in the city. But isn't there so much more? Where do we look at the music that's out? Why don't we take a look at, let's take a look at, I just lost my whole train of thought. With the music, the video games. The video games that are out there. These are all things that, maybe the average person is not being, not going to do terrible things because they watched or saw something. But a lot of people are not that strong. And I don't know the toy gun is really going to be the end-all, be-all. But again, this is what's happening. So again, we're going to have the first half. That's my rank. Look at my my website at financialchickshow.com. So stay tuned. After commercial breaks, we're going to talk about some milestones for financial planning. I'm so cranky. It's been a really bad week. I'm like sick of everybody.
I felt that in my soul.
It's just like, just when you think it can't get any more interesting, it does,
Got about a minute and a half, okay?
Okay, thank you. So, how is everybody doing out there? Getting a little edgy, but there's just some crazy things that has to be discussed. But thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to get my phone because I can't even see who's on here, which is weird. Hey Richie, hey Athena, thanks for being here. Hope you're both doing well. Athena, miss you, love you, girl.
Seconds.
Okay, thank you. It's so quiet here at the airport. Usually there's people milling around. It's very quiet. Probably those airline delays or cancellations. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all of those changes. So, welcome back after the break. So like I said, today we're going to talk about some milestone ages for financial planning. So these are common questions that I get all the time when people come in, and it's just usually like, knee jerk, like, whoa, I've just turned this age. I know there's something I should be doing. What should I be doing? So let's kind of talk about some of that. Now I know many of you may have stopped counting your birthdays, or perhaps you just may lie about your age. But when you work with me as your financial advisor, you'll have to disclose that information. But it's for your own good, and I promise to never share or reveal that information to anyone. But at different times of our lives, we have financial planning opportunities or to-dos, things that we have to do. They are so important and will directly relate to the age that you want to retire. So let's jump into those milestones. We start at the ripe old age of 50. I got nervous, I guess, because I'm over 50, right? But there's always a good time to get started. You don't have to be 50 or over to get started. The earlier you start, obviously, the better you are. So the first thing, what happens at 50? Well, you can contribute more to your retirement plans. So when you turn 50, you can contribute to your 401k or other retirement plans. So the number in 2022, the contribution limit is $20,500 for everybody, but you get an additional $6,500 catch-up contribution, which brings you to $27,000. So you can put up to $27,000 away in 2022. And for IRAs or Roth IRAs, that number is $6,000 for the general populace. If you're over 50, it brings you up to $7,000 for the year. And you know how much, if you've been listening to the show, how much I love Roth IRAs. Everyone should have one. There are some limitations, but always call the office just to make sure. But great thing to have. Next, 59 and a half. Anyone know what that one is? Well, that is when you have no penalty if you withdraw funds from your IRA. Now, this is not your 401k if you're still working, but it's your IRA. So at 59 and a half, you could take withdrawals without penalties, although you will have to pay taxes based on the type of IRA that you have. Obviously, Roths are a little bit more tax beneficial. IRAs at that point typically are fully taxable, although there are some that aren't. Again, always call, we can't go over every piece of the puzzle, and that's why, we think it's like surface and people think they can do this themselves. There's a lot to it. But typically at that point, you're going to have to pay taxes on your IRAs. But it's really a good time at 59 and a half to start creating that retirement plan for your future. What type of income are you going to need? Retirement income plan. So you may also at this point want to start consolidating your 401ks from previous employers, or maybe IRAs. You may have IRAs in various different places. Doing so is going to make it easier to track and organize your investments. As you get older, obviously you want to kind of keep it simple, and also enables you to work a little bit better with regard to asset allocation. If you have IRAs in different places, it's hard to really know if you're too heavy in one area, too conservative, too aggressive, or too heavy maybe in something like technology, which would be your diversification. And it's easy to rebalance. It's hard to rebalance when you have things in different areas. So you can do a rebalance, meaning that, let's say you have 60-40, you get 60 in stocks, 40 in bonds, and things get out of whack. It's hard to rebalance when you're across different companies and different strategies. And you may even be able to reduce some fees. Each one of these these accounts have fees. So if in doubt, give my office a call and we can take a look at that for you. Age 62, what happens there? Well, this is the time when you actually can start receiving Social Security. It's the first year that you can start receiving Social Security, barring any disability. There are some exceptions to that too, but the average person can do that. Now, of course, this will reduce your monthly benefits by 30% versus waiting until your full retirement age of Social Security, and that would be when you're entitled to 100%, your full retirement age, and we'll go into that in a little bit, what that is and what ages those are. But also, if you take it early, there's no do-over, so it becomes a permanent reduction, in your Social Security income. So obviously, it's important to talk to me to help you make that decision. And you also may want to visit the Social Security website to get your personalized retirement estimates to see what you're going to get at those various ages, at 62, at your full retirement age. And they also give you what you would get at age 70. And that's at ssa.gov, ssa.gov. And that's always a good thing when you go to see your financial advisor, you come to see me to bring that along with you. 65, what happens there? Well, you can finally sign up for Medicare. You want to get the timing right. Medicare's initial enrollment period lasts for 7 months. So it starts 3 months before you turn 65, and it ends 3 months after you turn 65. And of course, the month that you turn 65. So you don't want to miss that 7-month initial enrollment period. Otherwise, then you have to wait to sign up and you have to pay a late enrollment penalty, and that you don't want to do. So 65 is a huge milestone and super important. And again, if you have problems, come in. We help people sign up for Medicare. There's a lot of choices that you have to make if you still have your health insurance or if you don't. So it's a biggie. So going back to that full retirement age, so when does that typically happen? Well, it's a couple of ages. The first of which is age 66, but that's just for people that were born between the years 1943 and 1954. If you were born anytime after 1960, and then of course between 1954 and 1960, it's 66 in 2 months, 66 in 3. We have a grid in our office that can help you, or you can find it online. So it gets a little. I just had a client come into the office this week, and his birthday's in May, and he turned 65. So in November, at 66 in 6 months, is when he can actually start his Social Security. So now anybody born after 1960, the full retirement age there is 67. Now again, the government's constantly talking about making some changes there too, but those are the ages that you really want to hone in on at this point. Age 70, another biggie. Social Security benefit increases as a result of delaying retirement stop at age 70. So you can actually wait till 70 to take your Social Security, and every year that you wait from age 62 all the way to 70, you get an 8% increase. So depending on your situation, it may make sense to wait. We have two schools of thought. Like, I put my money in, I want to take it right away. But if you have longevity, it may not be the best decision. Other people want to wait. They may be working. So it's very, very important to do planning and not knee-jerk based on emotion, because that just never works out so well. 70 and a half or 72, this gets a little quirky too. 70 and a half used to be that magical number of when you had to start taking your required minimum distributions from your retirement assets. Based on the act that came during the pandemic, it's now 72 when RMDs start. So if any time after January 1st of 2020, it's age 72. And finally, age 73 and beyond. So according to MIT Age Lab, a division of MIT that studies aging, retirement tends to get more complex as we age. That's no surprise, right? At this point, you're probably going to want to address things like housing decisions, driving a car, those challenges, maintaining friendships, caregiving, organizing your most important information, and having fun and continuing to have a purpose. So there's a lot, and people don't realize that they think financial advisors are just there for the money or the investments, but we do a lot of this stuff, and this is something that I work with my clients. And just this week, a lot of those things we talked about, they were stuff that I had discussions with clients just this week. So it's really, really interesting. So I hope you got some good information there. Again, it's a lot, and if you have questions, I'm always here to answer. You can call my office or go to my website. And one big thing, I've reached a milestone, which is very, very interesting. So this Sunday, which is August 21st, I will have been on the air for 2 years at LA News Radio. And it's very, very exciting. The executive producer, David, had given me my little, I got a button that says LA News Radio. And, which is so exciting, my original engineer, Mike, love you, Mike, was here today also. So excited to have you run my show, and thank you so much for everything. You're always the best. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome weekend. The weather's going to be perfect. Just a reminder, there's a primary on Tuesday, August 23rd. Get out there and have your say. Going to be a crazy Republican primary in the Congressional District 1 where Lee Zeldin's going. So let's hope the best person wins. Remember, do better, be better. I look forward to being with you again next Friday. I always run out of time at the end. I always have so much to say. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend. It's going to be awesome weather, and I hope to just be out all weekend, so I'll be off the grid. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.